Saudi Arabia also joined us this week in placing sanctions on one of the most senior leaders of Hezbollah. Of course, there is still much work to be done. That means honestly confronting the crisis of Islamic extremism and the Islamists and Islamic terror of all kinds. We must stop what they're doing to inspire, because they do nothing to inspire but kill. And we are having a very profound effect if you look at what's happened recently. And it means standing together against the murder of innocent Muslims, the oppression of women, the persecution of Jews, and the slaughter of Christians. Religious leaders must make this absolutely clear. Barbarism will deliver you no glory. Piety to evil will bring you no dignity. If you choose the path of terror, your life will be empty, your life will be brief, and your soul will be fully condemned. And political leaders must speak out to affirm the same idea. Heroes don't kill innocents, they save them. Many nations here today have taken important steps to raise up that message. Saudi Arabia's vision for 2030 is an important and encouraging statement of tolerance, respect, empowering women, and economic development. The United Arab Emirates has also engaged in the battle for the hearts and souls, and with the United States launched a center to counter the online spread of hate. Bahrain, too, is working to undermine recruitment and radicalism. I also applaud Jordan, Turkey, and Lebanon for their role in hosting refugees. The surge of migrants and refugees living so poorly that they're forced to leave the Middle East depletes the human capital needed to build stable societies and economies. Instead of depriving this region of so much human potential, Middle Eastern countries can give young people hope for a brighter future in their home nations and regions. That means promoting the aspirations and dreams of all citizens who seek a better life, including women, children, and the followers of all faiths. Numerous Arab and Islamic scholars have eloquently argued that protecting equality strengthens Arab and Muslim communities. For many centuries, the Middle East has been home to Christians, Muslims, and Jews living side by side. We must practice tolerance and respect for each other once again, and make this region a place where every man and woman, no matter their faith or ethnicity, can enjoy a life of dignity and hope. In that spirit, after concluding my visit in a fabulous place that we're at today, Riyadh, which I've gotten to know so well in so short a time, I will travel to Jerusalem and Bethlehem, and then to the Vatican, visiting many of the holiest places in the three Abrahamic faiths. If these three faiths can join together in cooperation, then peace in this world is possible, including peace between Israelis and Palestinians. I will be meeting with both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Palestinian President Abbas. Starving terrorists of their territory, of their funding, and the false allure of the craven ideology will be the basis for easily defeating them. But no discussion of stamping out this threat would be complete without mentioning the government that gives terrorists all three: safe harbor, financial backing, and the social standing needed recruitment. It is a regime that is responsible for so much instability in that region. I am speaking, of course, of Iran. From Lebanon to Iraq to Yemen, Iran funds arms and trains terrorists, militias, and other extremist groups that spread destruction and chaos across the region. For decades, Iran has fueled the fires of sectarian conflict and terror. It is a government that speaks openly of mass murder, vowing the destruction of Israel, death to America, and ruin for many leaders and nations in this very room. Among Iran's most tragic and destabilizing interventions, you've seen it in Syria. Bolstered by Iran, Assad has committed unspeakable crimes, and the United States has taken firm action in response to the use of banned chemical weapons by the Assad regime, launching 59 missiles at the Syrian airbase from where that murderous attack originated. Responsible nations must work together to end the humanitarian crisis in Syria, eradicate ISIS, and restore stability to the region, and as quickly as possible. The Iranian regime's longest suffering victims are its own people. Iran has a rich history and culture, but the people of Iran have endured hardship and despair to their leaders' reckless pursuit of conflict and terror. Until the Iranian regime is willing to be a partner for peace, all nations of conscience must work together to isolate Iran, deny it, funding for terrorism, cannot do it, and pray for the day when the Iranian people have the just and righteous government they so richly deserve. The decisions we make will affect countless lives. King Solomon, I thank you for the creation of this great moment in history and for your massive investments in America and its industries and its jobs. I also thank you for investing in the future of this part of the world. The fertile region, and it is so fertile, has all of the ingredients for extraordinary success. A rich history and culture, a young and vibrant people, a thriving spirit of enterprise. But you can only unlock this future if the citizens of the Middle East are freed from extremism, terror, and violence. We in this room are the leaders of our peoples. They look to us for answers and for action. And when we look back at their faces, behind every pair of eyes is a soul that yearns for justice and yearns for peace. Today, billions of faces are now looking at us, waiting for us to act on the great question of our time. Will we be indifferent in the presence of evil? Will we protect our citizens from its violent ideology? Will we let its venom spread through our societies? Will we let it destroy the most holy sites on earth? If we do not confront this deadly terror, we know what the future will bring. More suffering, more death, and more despair. But if we act, if we leave this magnificent room unified and determined to do what it takes to destroy the terror that threatens the world, then there is no limit to the great future our citizens will have. The birthplace of civilization is waiting to begin a new renaissance. Just imagine what tomorrow could bring. Glorious wonders of science, art, medicine, and commerce to inspire mankind. Great cities built on the ruins of shattered towns. New jobs and industries that will lift up millions and millions of people. Parents who no longer worry for their children, their families, and who no longer mourn for their loved ones. And the faithful who finally worship without fear. These are the blessings of prosperity and peace. These are the desires that burn with a righteous flame in every single human heart. And these are the just demands of our beloved people. I ask you to join me, to join together, to work together, and to fight together, because united, we will not fail. We cannot fail. Nobody, absolutely nobody, can beat us. Thank you. God bless you. God bless your countries. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
President Trump speaking in the Middle East today, a part of his two-day visit.
You know, funny thing about him, he ain't never said what he believes. He ain't never said he's a Christian. I don't never hear him going to church like most of the presidential leaders do. He ain't never said about what he believed. That was about the best speech I ever heard him give in terms of, I mean, he actually sounded presidential.
He did. He sounded like
That tripped
that's
me
why
out.
it ain't not one of those words his.
Yeah, because that's what I'm trying to figure out. So when we listen to these people, you know, so which one do you think it is? A, they that good at lying, or B, they really believe this stuff? Well, which one is it?
Say that bit. Okay.
These people, yeah.
Okay.
They really believe it?
That's the reason I want us. Okay, we're here. We just finished. Okay.
What do you want me to name this?
Something like Valley of Lies. Just
Valley of Lies. I like that one. All right, roll with that.
Valley of Lies. It's okay. Valley of Historical Lies.
All right, there we go.
Okay, yeah.
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary lies. Victory of Masjid al-Islam over the combined forces of American Zionism. That's just from some old Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The reason we wanted, this is Sunday the 21st, I guess this is the 21st of May 2017. We just listened to Donald Trump in his lecture in Saudi Arabia. I wanted everybody to listen to it, and I'm glad on one part, which is the video, it shows us listening to this lecture on C-SPAN. I heard it this morning, and I wanted everybody to hear it because I wanted everybody to hear it so they would understand exactly what part we play in this. And the only people that will believe what I'm going to say and fully understand it are the people that's here right now, except a few people that's been listening very closely over the years to these programs and to these lectures. So, if we were to go back last year we talked about, this is from some notes, 11/27/16, mankind take charge of his own evolution, not reporting history, but making history. These are notes like when we have our programs So if anybody want a copy, I can make a copy of all these notes. Some of them you have. Shaping and hurting. Leave your fingerprints on the pages of history. Regional vision. Unity, the vehicle after destabilization. This is a note referring to April 16th, 2011 at the, there where Kennedy got killed at Grassy Knoll. We had a program there urging the people, it was a counter attack on Libya. It was Muslims, socialists, and other semi-conscious people in a big demonstration in Dallas, Texas. That's where we gave that landmark speech, although at that time it wouldn't be landmark at all. But 2 weeks after that speech, where we talked about the situation in so-called the Middle East. We talked about, number one, there wouldn't be an Arab Spring. Okay, now here in this masjid, we remember that dialogue. There will be no Arab Spring. That's 2011. Now, 2 weeks after that, that's when this came out on their internet. Revolution from Egypt to the Americas. Now, what we want you to understand is somebody is paying close attention. Because when we make that speech, there will be no Arab Spring. And we outline the stages that it would go through. It would be some temporary gains. Temporary. But then it would be mass destabilization in that whole region. Then after that, there would be such a level of struggle that it would cause the area to rise to the level of not a Yemeni vision, Iranian vision, Egyptian vision, Iraqi vision, Syrian vision. No, it would be a regional vision, because the whole region would be up in smoke. That's what we mean by regional vision. Forget about what old Don said. He just talked about regional vision also. It was so dynamic. Now this is before it plays out. This is just stating clearly what stages the thing is going to go to. And of course, number 4 would be regional unity, regional harmony, regional alliances, and regional vision. And number 5 would be victory. Oakland and the American Islamic Revolution. Oakland and the Islamic Revolution in America. So, we've all seen this picture. We don't really need to look at it again. But it says that Waliyat al-Faqih is a protection against global fitna. So now we have, there won't be an Arab Spring. We have the Ikhwan coming over here, right? Talking to the administration at that time, the Obama administration, and them getting clearance. And we're telling them physically in our lectures, and we're telling them in real life time, don't make no hookup with that boy, he gonna cut your throat. They went through it anyway. In Egypt, they call that temporary victory a big victory. the Ikhwan sidelined the people who had been a part of organizing the uprising, right? Since they were organized better, they sidelined them and they took power. And we said from day one, this is the worst thing in the world you can do. This is the worst thing in the world that you can do. Number one, take power. Why? Well, we've been working for power of Islam, the instituting the power, because to take power at the wrong time is a death sentence to you, to your movement, the hopes and dreams of a people. If Egypt is in the throes of a downward spiral in economy and everything else, nobody can fix it. They can't fix it, especially when you have Americans, Israelis, and everything working against the progress. We didn't get into why Brazil and why Venezuela is having fitna. Because why were they doing so well 3 years ago? All of them. Not only the oil price, who dropped the oil price? Saudi Arabia dropped the oil price, right? The people in Venezuela, instead of working, all those demonstrators are paid demonstrators. 80% of the people in Venezuela say we want to be friends. We want to have dialogue. We don't want to have all this stuff in the street. Why are they in the street? It's because the U.S. wants to bring the regime down. The U.S. has worked to destroy Brazil. Why? Because if they ain't working together with each other, nobody will need the U.S. So the deep state in America is not a hidden state. The deep state in America is the Zionist Israeli military-industrial complex. The security services. Whenever Obama got out of line, they'd have somebody jump over the fence in the White House, go in the White House, or do anything. Get on the elevator with a gun on, if it's though that's possible. What's that do? That lets the president know, hey man, we're protecting you, just like we protected Kennedy. And if he got out of line, who's gonna look out for you? Okay? You look at everything that's going on now with old dumb Don. It is the security forces. It is the military forces. And he can fire anybody he wants till he gets rid of the head of the FBI. The FBI is a part of the national security apparatus. They help cause fitna. They blow the bugle for the cavalry to come running in and save the people the war that they started. The deep state produces wars all throughout the Middle East and anywhere else they can because that's where they make their money. The deep state, the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, is there to cause the problem that the military will come and solve. That's what the deep state is, okay, in the United States. Therefore, nobody can go against the deep state because that is the state. And it's Arabia, Saudi Arabia, buying weapons from the deep state. But Saudi Arabia is causing all the fitna that they talked about. The root of every drop of that fitna is Saudi Arabia. The ideologies that are causing trouble, the financing. Iran is not financing nobody. Daesh, they're Wahhabis. Everybody know that. The finances come from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and everybody else. Okay, we're going to try to get back on. Because this is a deep one. I'm going to get to what we want to talk about. So finally we got to that regional vision after destabilization. We talked about certain things that had happened. First of all, the survival of the Islamic State of Iran. This is a big deal. The Islamic Republic of Iran survived. It grew, it developed and survived wars. We call it World War III, where the whole world, all those people in Saudi Arabia now were with Saudi Arabia, with Saddam Hussein, with Jordan, with Egypt. All of them were all together helping Saddam against Iran. Against what we said week before last, the dictates of the Quran. So with Iran, the export of the revolution, which first the revolution had to survive, it survived. It grew and it developed. And its greatest achievement is its survival and its independence. And it talks about it all the time. When it talks about its resistance economy is a blessing. We'll get to the elections later, but those who are running for presidency, 2 or 3 of those people were for resistance economy. You might say, well, Khatami, or whatever his name is, Rouhani, is not for resistance economy. Doesn't make any difference. What you heard today, Saudi Arabia, all of those allies are there for what reason? They're there allied to fight against the thing that they created. You have to remember the global vision. We talked about it, but we didn't know how it was going to come. What's going to happen to produce the global vision? We didn't need it, but our analysis on other things showed that that's the way it's going. And as we go along in the talk, you'll see that not only did we forecast it all along, but we've lived according to that. So, what are we talking about? The Islamic Republic survived. The Islamic Republic thrived. The slogan, exported a revolution. The revolution is exported. But Iran didn't export it. The people that was trying to stop it exported it. They formed, this is where real trust in God comes in. They formed the whole apparatus that we have now. There are some things that Iran did. It supported Hezbollah. Yes, it did. Sure it did. And Hezbollah is the only country in the region that have fought the Zionists. When the Zionists removed themselves from Lebanon in 2000, they did that voluntarily because they had been getting a constant whipping from Hezbollah. 6 years later, they're ashamed that they ran out. So they concoct the reason, oh, you took one of our guys, oh, you did this, whatever it was, after they had slaughtered Palestinians. Hezbollah came to the rescue of their Palestinian cousins against the Israelis And for that, the whole focus, the power and might of the Israeli army, military apparatus came down on Hezbollah. We won't go through it. It's 2006. They turned the tide, turned the tables, and whipped the Zionists behind. Then came this period of 2011. They see that they believe that, now remember, we talked about shaping and herding before, remember a long time ago? That means they want to shape and reshape the whole Middle East according to their vision, according to what they want. Every step of the way was to shape the Middle East. Okay, first they want to go into Iraq. We go in there, he's the baddest guy around, we shape him, we find it backfired. They said we'll take over what the Soviets blew, they messed it up, we'll go and we hit them, boom, boom, boom. We blame 9/11 on them, right? Or as if Osama bin Laden with kidney problems and just left their hospital. You know what I mean? If you need dialysis, you can't stay in a cave too long. You got to go to an organized joint that have all kind of, you know what I mean, medical apparatuses.
He's 3 times a week.
Hey, man, here's the point. I'm going to try to say a few things. Take charge of your own evolution. Reporting history, not reporting history, but making history. I'm going to make a jump because all of us here can make that psychological jump. Here we are at Masjid al-Islam. We have all of these stages, all of what we told Ikhwan al-Muslimin, they should, all those things that they should not do. We all told them that the Titanic has already hit the iceberg and it's already gonna sink. And they're telling us the Titanic is unsinkable. Just look at the old one and see how did it sink. No, the dummies and the Americans both sank. Everybody except America. Everybody else that got cancer in history, they did die of that disease, except America. It just so happens that all the historical patients said the same thing. Not us. Rome fell, but not the British. Sun never set on our empire, so how are we going to fall? Let's see kind of